Even if that familiar thing is toxic, unfulfilling, or clearly not working. But the only way you're ever going to get true clarity is by doing something. Taking the next step, making the call, sending the email, signing up for the course, having the hard conversation. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to move, because motion creates clarity. When you act, you get feedback, you learn, you adjust, you grow. And that's how you figure out what works and what doesn't. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're stuck in a job that makes you miserable. You've been thinking about quitting for months. You've made pros and cons lists. You've talked to friends. You've read articles about career transitions. You've imagined all the worst-case scenarios. But nothing is changing because you haven't taken a step, even something small, like reaching out to someone in a field you're interested in, or updating your resume, or applying to one job, could trigger a wave of clarity. Suddenly, you're not just thinking about change, you're creating it. You're in motion. Or maybe you're dealing with a relationship that feels off. You've thought about every possible angle. You've analyzed their behavior, your childhood wounds, your attachment styles, everything. But what you haven't done is sit down and have the conversation that could actually move the relationship forward or bring it to a close. Because that's scary, that's vulnerable, that's uncertain. But again, clarity doesn't live in your mind, it lives in experience. When you stop trying to force clarity and start taking imperfect action, things begin to shift. You stop trying to predict the future and start shaping it. You stop spinning in anxiety and start gaining real insight. You learn what you're capable of. You discover what you actually want. You begin to trust yourself. Not because you have all the answers, but because you're willing to show up anyway. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start moving, the obsession begins to fade. You're no longer caught in that loop of what if and should I? Because you're too busy doing something. And even if it doesn't go perfectly, even if you fail or stumble or get it wrong, you're still further ahead than you were when you were just thinking about it. Action builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. And confidence brings clarity. That's the chain. That's how it works. And it's accessible to you right now. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to move forward? Then do it. Let it be messy. Let it be awkward. Let it be uncertain. But do something. Because clarity isn't found in control. It isn't found in certainty. It's found in motion. You don't need to have the whole staircase mapped out to take the first step. The path becomes clear as you walk it. So stop trying to think your way into your future. Take the step. Make the move. That's how you find what you've been looking for, not in your head, but in your actions. Your brain is an incredible machine. It's built to protect you, to help you survive, and to make sense of the world around you. But here's something most people don't realize. Your brain is not built for clarity under pressure. It's not designed to perform at its best when you're forcing, pushing, and grinding from a place of stress or desperation. In fact, the harder you try to control everything, the more your brain works against you. Let's get into the science for a second. When you're feeling calm and safe, your brain's prefrontal cortex is active. That's the part of your brain responsible for problem solving, decision-making, creativity, and long-term planning. It's the part of your brain that helps you stay focused, set goals, and act with intention. Basically, it's where your best thinking lives. But the moment you start feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or out of control, your brain flips a switch. It activates the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for the fight-or-flight response. This is a survival mechanism that evolved to help you react quickly to danger. So instead of thoughtful decisions, your brain goes into reaction mode. Your heart races, your thoughts become scattered, you become impulsive. You're no longer thinking clearly, you're just trying to survive the moment. Now, what does this have to do with forcing things? Everything. Because when you're trying to force an outcome, when you're obsessing over results, trying to manipulate timing, pushing for perfection, you're putting your brain into a constant state of stress. You're signaling to your nervous system that something is wrong, that you're not safe, and that you need to control everything in order to feel okay. That creates tension in your body and confusion in your mind. It blocks clarity, it kills creativity. It puts you in a mental fog where everything feels urgent and nothing feels right. Think about how that shows up in your life. Have you ever tried to write an email or have a tough conversation when you were panicking? Your words don't come out the way you want them to. You second guess everything. You read into every pause, every look, every delay, and the more you try to get it right, the more your brain shuts down. You can't tap into your instincts. You can't see things clearly. You're not accessing your best self. You're just reacting. This is why trying harder doesn't always work. It's not that you're not capable. It's that you're approaching the problem from a stressed state of mind. You're fighting your own biology. And no amount of willpower can override a nervous system that's locked in fear. The antidote to this isn't to give up, it's to shift your state. Instead of forcing your way forward, you have to calm your body and clear your mind. You have to get out of survival mode and back into alignment. That might mean stepping away from the problem for a moment, taking a walk,